Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk. I want to talk to you about something that is really weighing on my heart. I hope you'll let me speak about this today. I was sent an article about a young girl from our community who took her life in December of 2014. And her mom is a child protective lawyer, and her father is retired military and the head of he's law enforcement now. These are good parents who believe they would have known if something was going on in their daughter's life. The reason I'm talking about this today is because as parents, we do know what's going on in our children's lives, but often we know what they are letting us know. To this mother, her daughter appeared happy, healthy, ate good, sat at the dinner table, talked about her day, had friends, went to church, had a boyfriend, was a normal, typical teenager. I'm going to share with you the story and the message from this mother, because even if it doesn't affect me or you, if we all share it, it can affect or help somebody. The story goes that this one night, it was a Saturday or a Sunday, a weekend, and they had breakfast, they went to church, they stopped at the doctor's office because the mom had a headache and needed to pick up a prescription. They ran some errands. The girl, it was all a very normal weekend. And later that night, the mom was making dinner, and Sydney, the daughter, came into the kitchen looking for pizza rolls. And the mom teased her and said, "I'm making dinner, scoot, scoot. I'll call you in 20 minutes when it's done." The daughter said, "Okay," and skipped back to her room. 20 minutes later, her mom goes to her room to get her and finds her daughter hanging from her bed by a belt around her neck. And she writes in her story, "I thought at first she was joking. And then I realized that she wasn't. So she screamed for her husband, who helped her get her daughter down. And she called 911. They tried CPR, but she was gone." That part of it is hard enough. I personally can't think of anything harder. It's what she realized after her daughter died that is so upsetting to me. She found out after she sent her daughter to the funeral home that her daughter had been cutting herself in places that her mom wouldn't see. Now, I will tell you that as parents, we want to get defensive and think, if my child was cutting herself, I would know. But the truth is, a lot of times we wouldn't, because kids who don't want to be caught are very good at hiding things like that. You think they cut their arms where you can see, they don't. They cut the inside of their thighs, under their feet, their abdomen, where their underwear covers. If you are not doing full body scans on your kids, you may not know. But it was more than the cutting. She found out after her daughter's death that her daughter was active on a app on her phone, something called Kick, where it's completely anonymous, and her 14-year-old daughter had gotten herself too involved with grown men, men, in their 40s, who were teaching her about asphyxiation and sexual things. And at 14, when you're hormonal, you think you can handle all of this. You think you know everything. We've all been there where we know better. We can handle this. This is something on the internet. I didn't even have the internet when I was 14. So then her mother finds out. She gets the investigators to turn on her phone so she can retrieve pictures from her phone. And she finds these messages from these men. But she also finds horrific bullying going on at a good school in our community. This is not like a rinky-tink school. This was like a good school. Horrible bullying about this girl's boyfriend. Girl saying horrific things to her that she should just die. And these are good parents who were active in their daughter's life, and they had no idea what was going on because this little girl had become so good at coming home for the hour and a half she had to pretend around her parents, get through dinner, smile, give everybody a kiss goodnight, and go to bed. They had no idea that she was being bullied until 2 o'clock in the morning. Men coming at her, send us pictures, we want to see you, come meet us. She was in way over her head. And you can sit and think, why wouldn't she go to her parents? Why wouldn't she? But at 14, you think you can handle it. You think it's not that bad. It'll stop. It'll whatever. But it doesn't. For a lot of these kids, it doesn't. And I know because I lived through it. I went through the bullying and then I was the bully. So I know how bad it gets and how long. It's like when you're being bullied, the years are short, but the days are long. And some days you feel like you won't get out. And then you've got parents saying that children deserve privacy. And I have to say, I disagree. If these children are still living under our roofs and they have smartphones where grown men can get in their minds on these apps, we have a right and an obligation to know who they're talking to. I want to see your chats, your texts. I'm sorry. You can hate me. You can think I don't trust you. And I will do my best to assure you that it isn't you I don't trust. It's this world that I don't trust. I can't imagine a mother finding her child. How do you ever come back from something like that? I don't think you do. And the comments on this article from some parents like me, if they live under my roof, if they're under 18, if I support them in any way, they don't get complete privacy. I will be all up in your business because it is my job to protect you. And I go, hats off to you, Mom. Exactly. Then you have other parents going, you have to let them live. You have to let them make choices. And I think there are too many. There are too many choices now. It's not like when we were young, where if a grown man wanted to solicit you for something, he had to come to your face and do it. Now there's all this anonymity. He can be whoever he wants to be. He can be your neighbor. He can be your friend's husband. He can be anything. Why do these kids need smartphones? Why can't they just have regular phones that make calls or shoot texts? Why do they need phones where they can get into these worlds that they're not mature enough to handle? Maybe I'm a helicopter parent. Maybe that's what I am. I will tell you, I would never be okay. So I will make sure that my children have the cheap phones. You need to call me when you're 14, fine. This phone makes calls. You will not surf the internet. If you want to do it, you can do it in my living room. Will she find other ways to do it? Maybe. But I have to believe that I have done every single thing I can to protect them. Because God forbid I ever have to walk into a room and find my child like that, I will have to know that I did every single thing I could to protect her. The bullying in schools has to stop. If I have to go to every school in every city, in every state, and talk to these kids, I will. It's 4 years. It will get better. We as adults some days have days wondering when will it get better? And we have tools. We are older. We have tools to handle a lot of the sadness and a lot of the disappointment that life throws at us. These 14-year-olds, they have no idea what they're doing. And there's so much pressure on them to do well at school, to be pretty, to be popular, to get boobs, to find a boyfriend, to go to prom, to whatever, and then get into college, make good grades, decide what you want to do with the rest of your life. Use manners, go to church, serve God, be a good daughter, be a good sister, be a good friend. At 14, it's so much. And think about how life gets you down as an adult. Now imagine all of that coupled with the constant scrutiny of the internet where you're not enough, you're not enough, you're not a Kim Kardashian, you're not this, you're not that, you're not this, and then people bullying and grown men and sex and this and that. It's a wonder how any of these kids get out alive. Please, let's use this mother's tragedy, which is what it is, to open our eyes to what's going on. Give your children privacy to some degree, but if you think there's a chance your kid is cutting herself, pick up the bottoms of her feet, look on the insides of her thighs. I don't care what she says to you. I really don't. She wants to be mad at you, let her be mad. She'll get over it. Know who this mom knew her kids' friends. She was doing the right things to the degree that she thought she had to. We have to push farther. We have to. Please share this video with anybody who may need a small wake-up call because I can't. That's why. I love you today. Have a great day.